Military historians and wargamers constantly debate the exact same question. Which Cold War superpower actually built the superior tank? That is the wrong question to ask. In armored warfare, a perfect vehicle does not exist. Every single tank that rolled off an assembly line was a heavily compromised choice. This diagram shows the iron triangle of tank design, the inescapable mathematical relationship between mobility, firepower, and armor. Because physics are finite, heavily investing in one node mathematically diminishes another. Bolting on impenetrable steel and a massive gun means you lose top speed. To understand how engineers solved this problem, we can organize the most iconic Cold War tanks into 4 distinct archetypes based on their specific tactical investments. A vehicle's raw statistics matter far less than how perfectly its engineering compromises match the strategy of the commander deploying it. The first archetype is the mass generalist. The major superpowers chose logistical reliability and ease of manufacturing over specialized, bleeding-edge capabilities. The Soviet T-54 and T-55 series are the ultimate expression of this doctrine. They combined simple mechanical systems with acceptable firepower, allowing them to be mass-produced in numbers stretching endlessly across the screen. This basic simplicity allowed the architecture to be exported and easily adapted. China used this exact Soviet foundation to build their armored forces, seen here in the Type 59 and its inherited dome turret. Decades of refinement led to the T-72. It maintained that low, rounded profile while integrating a smoothbore gun, striking a highly effective balance of cost against strong overall protection. The American response followed a similar logic but started from a heavier baseline. To maintain a unified armored backbone for NATO, the U.S. prioritized incrementally upgrading proven chassis designs. The M48 Patton updated World War II concepts by adding improved frontal armor and a completely redesigned rounded turret layout. The U.S. Army evolved this exact lineage by integrating a significantly more powerful main gun to create the M60 Patton, recognizable by its highly specific turret profile and the distinct 125 identification markings. Relying on incremental upgrades carries a specific penalty. Pushing an older architecture to its absolute physical limit inevitably means it will eventually lag behind entirely new vehicle platforms. The mass generalists accepted slightly lower per-unit survivability. In exchange, they secured overwhelming numbers and a highly reliable supply chain. Many European nations lacking superpower manufacturing output had to quickly commit to extreme, highly specialized corners of the Iron Triangle. One approach was the mobility sniper. Engineers discarded heavy armor to achieve maximum speed and maneuverability. The French AMX-30 was built to dictate engagements through rapid repositioning. By dropping the weight of thick steel, it could aggressively climb steep terrain and strike before the enemy could react. The German Leopard 1 utilized the same philosophy. It relied on cross-country agility, with its suspension compressing hard over rough dirt terrain, and a powerful gun to outmaneuver threats. This created a literal glass cannon. They were incredibly fast, but highly vulnerable to standard counterfire and basic artillery shrapnel. The opposite extreme was the heavy defender doctrine, which completely discarded speed in favor of maximum steel thickness and long-range firepower. The British Chieftain was built as an immovable object. With its incredibly heavy armor profile, it was designed to hold static defensive positions and destroy incoming targets from afar. Whether optimizing for a fast first strike or an impenetrable defense, these nations survived by avoiding the generalist middle ground. Our final category is the specialists. These designs integrated radical technology or highly unique layouts to solve strict tactical problems. This diagram shows the internal complexity of advanced Soviet tanks like the T-64 and T-80. They achieved massive leaps in capability by integrating complex systems like mechanical autoloaders and gas turbine engines. These technical leaps introduced a steep logistical burden. Keeping a gas turbine operational requires far more specialized parts and maintenance hours than a traditional diesel engine. Other specialists focused on unique operational limits. The U.S. M551 Sheridan was built specifically with a small, lightweight chassis so it could be dropped from aircraft to support airborne forces. The Israeli Merkava M1 inverted standard layouts. By placing the heavy engine block at the front of the vehicle, designers prioritized crew survivability above all other metrics. The Swedish Stridsvagn 103 eliminated the turret entirely. It used an adjustable suspension to aim its fixed gun, offering a completely flat, extremely low-profile target for defensive ambushes. The heavy trade-off for these layouts is rigidity. A turretless tank performs exceptionally well in a defensive ditch, but poorly in a mobile offensive. Pushing the boundaries of the iron triangle always requires accepting a severe operational penalty in either daily maintenance or flexibility. This flowchart shows how to apply these historical engineering lessons to your own wargaming strategy. Your choice depends entirely on your tolerance for logistical friction versus your need for tactical advantage. If you value consistency and cost-effectiveness over individual unit superiority, you are a pragmatist. You need to invest heavily in the reliable numbers of the Soviet T-series or the American M-series. If you are an aggressive tactician who dictates tempo through rapid positioning, the glass cannons of the Leopard 1 or the AMX-30 are the perfect match. For the niche optimizers willing to manage complex logistics for a supreme environmental edge, you choose the STRV-103 for defense or the Sheridan for deployment. What will instantly break your strategy is choosing a doctrine that contradicts your hardware. You cannot expect a heavy Chieftain to execute a rapid flank, and you cannot ask a Sheridan to hold a fixed line against main battle tanks. The Cold War didn't produce one perfect tank. It produced a precise menu of consequences. The only fatal error is ignoring the